people dress is kind of, it's a really emotional thing, actually, and people should be allowed to be emotional, you know, and that emotion dictates maybe something that is completely wrong, but that they feel kind of emotionally that that's right for that particular day, or, you know, that particular sort of frame of mind. That's more appealing than somebody that just gets it right, you know, all the time, I think. Does that make sense? You know, somebody could feel their best in the one thing that they just look worst in. But if they're feeling like $1 million, then that's great, and that's really all that matters, I think. So yeah, that to me is much more important than having everybody on the planet looking like, you know, really stylish. That would be really boring.
It's an element of subconsciousness in everything you choose to wear. I'm a bit of a nomad with clothes. I change my sort of style and look all the time. And I'm the same with scenes and with people. I'm always moving in and out of different groups. So it's kind of nice to have different disguises you can put on to... Yeah, and it's nice not to be boxed as well. Not to be boxed. I mean, a lot of what I don't like about coordination, again, are people who have a look. You know, when you can put into a box, you can say, well, you're a cyber goth, or you know, you're a rave kid, or you're rocking the preppy look. You know, you're a biker, whatever image you're going for. You know, Japanese pirate. I don't know. When you can box people like that, like you can pin down. It's definitely not being pinned down. I don't like that at all. Not the idea of being pinned down. Seems like you know, sometimes you can put something on that's. I like a kind of, when I go clubbing often, I'll do a kind of like goth, tranny, weird stuff. I mean, like this I'm wearing last night, like a corset top. You see? It's kind of tranny and weird, but it's not, it's kind of in between. That's the thing again, you can't be pinned down as gay or straight, or even like, no one doesn't know, I'm not sure what angle you're coming at. You know, because you're not trying to look like anything. It's like music that just is. You know, like you say with Captain Beefheart, the reason it's difficult to listen to is because it doesn't create an atmosphere. The music is just itself. It's just sounds. And that's actually quite profound. To do music that doesn't let you slide below the surface and sort of bask in it, or doesn't give you an impression. You don't know what he's trying to do. It's just mute. It's sound. And I quite like clothes are just visuals, you know, where the metaphors clash so much, the images you're trying to create clash so much, that the actual overall impression is, yeah, it's mute against mute. It doesn't speak of any one thing. To me, that's actually what I'm aiming for when you wear that dress, and that's, yeah, that goes across actually the way I think about subcultures and images anyway. I mean, I like things that are at odds with themselves, you know. It's schizophrenic dressing. That's the way to do it, definitely. Pathological dressing. I love the clothing worn by real outsiders, people who are unsubconscious about what they're trying to project. So the mentally ill, or tribes in Africa who have pieces of Western clothing and try and make a Western look and get it utterly wrong, you know. Japanese in the sort of Japanese kids in the 70s and 80s trying to do heavy metal. When you get it, everything's wrong. They look like trannies. It's just everything's wrong. It's backwards, you know, because they don't understand the metaphors. So they actually create something new, you know. They're very fresh because it's so wrong. Like old bag ladies, bits and pieces they wear, where nothing goes, you know.
I exhibition here last year, which was a series of portraits of girlfriends of mine, and we had a film night sort of around the end of the exhibition. We screened Grey Gardens and Nights of Cabiria, if you've ever seen that, a Fellini film about sort of prostitutes in Rome, I think it is. And again, I mean, the style, you know, it's a film, and so obviously it's not Grey Gardens because that is completely real, and that is that woman's innate, you know, style that it just, I mean, you couldn't have dreamt that. Yeah, Grey Gardens, a documentary by the Maisels brothers about Jackie Onassis' great aunt, is it? I believe, and her daughter, so Big Edie and Little Edie. Big Edie being in her 80s probably, Little Edie being in her 40s, maybe late 40s. That live in this great big mansion house in East Hampton as complete recluses, with the house sort of falling down around them. And the Maisel brothers arrive and document them over several months, if not a year or more. And they just perform. They're both just complete performers and are just revelling in the fact that, yeah, this tiny documentary film crew have arrived. And so, yeah, she's getting all of her best outfits out. Mainly swimming costumes and cardigans worn as turbans with brooches. She's rocking a very good look. Without any parameters being sort of put upon her, there's no expectation, it's, you know, it's her and her mother, and there's nobody else that really comes in contact. Oh, the gardener, but, you know, she almost puts a swimming costume on for him. I mean, it's, I don't know, yeah, it's a subconscious thing, isn't it? It's how she feels most glamorous, I think. And because she feels that way, she really looks that way as well. She looks incredibly glamorous for a 50-year-old in a swimming costume, with a towel wrapped around her head. If you take away, yeah, the audience and and all the magazines and everything else, then is that what we'd all be like? Quite probably. It's quite, yeah, it's exciting. Now, people would be lost without being told what to wear. You know, it's like a massive sort of part of people that's been really eroded, actually. It's not, you know, because you're not really allowed it, because somebody else is, you know, instructing you the whole time. There's a guy that I love who Roger and I used to see around, and he would wear a crash helmet and I can't even remember what he wore, maybe a suit or something, you know, something very nondescript, but a full face, like, white crash helmet, and he'd push around a wheelchair with a complete cover on it. So you had no idea what was in the wheelchair, and that, you know, that was his identity. Now that's somebody that's not influenced by ID or Vogue or, you know, any of those billboard, you know, FC UK advertisements.